Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. It's Andrade and Irwin back at it again. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment before we get into it. We post 5 videos a week. And this time, this topic was inspired by a segment that actually Irwin brought up in our last video, and that is Rick Bucher guesting on The Herd with Colin Cowherd. And one of the topics that they covered when he was guesting was, is this the year for the Bucks? And I decided to comment after I watched that segment because it kind of inspired this question. I was like, the real question is, who has a higher chance of imploding, the Nets or the Bucks? And yeah, time to dive into it because
but the real question is, does Pandemic P play for any of these two teams? No, none of them are gonna implode.
No, it's true. No. But both these teams have a serious chance of actually imploding. So that's why we had to cover it, because while I wouldn't say it's very high because they're both favorites in the East for the most part, it's a good solid chance. And the funny thing is that both of them have vastly different reasons on why they might implode.
Super complete reasons.
Yeah, so let's get into those reasons, and at the end, after we detail why both of those teams may implode, we'll give our take on who we think has a higher chance of
But before we do that, you guys already know what time it is. My favorite time is going to be your favorite time, BTD stats time.
It's going to be their favorite time?
It definitely will. They're just not aware of it as of yet.
Oh, okay. Let's start with the Brooklyn Nets. All right, for points per game, they're averaging 118.5, second in the league. Opponents' points per game, 114.5, 22nd in the league. Irwin's favorite stat, SRS, 3.9, 7th in the league.
What? Oh my God. Damn, man, whoever you believe in. Damn, SRS? Jeez.
And their pace is 99.7, 12th in the league. Offensive rating 118, first in this league, as it should be. And defensive rating 114, 25th in the league, which is the biggest critique, their defense. And their net rating total of 4.0 positive, of 7th in the league. Then we got the Milwaukee Bucks. Points per game, 119.6, first in the league. Opponents points per game, 113.4, 21st in the league. SRS of 6.14, which makes him third in the league.
What? Damn, yo, the Bucks, Giannis is gonna go
like and that. Their pace is 102, third in the league. Offensive rating of 116.9, sixth in the league. And defensive rating of 110.8, seventh in the league. Totaling a net rating of positive 6.0, third in the league. So, as y'all can tell, both of these are offensive killers. But they're both inadequate when it comes to the defensive end.
Look, man, just give the Bucks that trophy already, man. SRS, third in the league. What?
It's over. It's over,
man.
But as y'all can tell by the stats, the reason both these teams might implode has nothing to do with their game, the team necessarily, or the players they got on it. It's actually more so the intangibles and the off-court possibilities that either of these teams might encounter. So let's start off with the Nets. All right, my reason for the Nets on why they might implode concerns with the lack of on-court play that KD, Harden, and Kyrie have had together this entire regular season, the injury bug that may plague them, and third being just
say it, man, Steve Nash.
Yes, lack of experience from the head coach. And I'm not gonna lie, the assistant coach doesn't give me much hope, because if y'all have followed the channel, I've been pretty critical of Mike D'Antoni.
There's a list of Andrade's boys, and Mike D'Antoni's like on the opposite side of that, man. Like towards like the in the pits of like Andrade's like hell of like boys.
He deserves his position right now. The assistant coach, I think that's perfect for him.
Yo, man, what did he do to you, man? Why you hate him so much?
You know what he did for me, actually? What? Look, this ties into Steve Nash. Oh, look, we talked about this in another video. God. When I was a Jit, I thought, and it's not like I've always been a Miami Heat fan, but like looking at other teams, I was a fan of the Nash Stoudemire Suns. Yeah. And then he couldn't put, mind you, there were other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fucking Lakers got in the way.
And he couldn't elevate them, to the championship. And what has he done since then? Still no finals appearance. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. They might prove your ass wrong this year.
Yeah. But why do you think the Nets might implode? Same reasons?
Pretty much the same reasons, man. Just to add to this, man, it's always some shit going on with that trio of Harden, Irving, and KD. Harden, his fat ass carrying the team. You figure, his fat ass can, handle that load. Oh, hamstring. gone.
Hey, but he's been literally carrying that team. He's been carrying that
team. The real
team.
talk, that guy's, he's been carrying it. He's arguably the MVP of that,
that
team.
squad for sure.
I'll give him that. Like, real talk. KD, somebody tweets at him or rubs him the wrong way, being mad sensitive, or somebody
KD hater.
or somebody talks about the facts that those 2 rings are not earned.
He's not that sensitive.
You'll be like, I'm out for 5 games. Kyrie Irving, like, there's something in my ramen noodles, or I don't know.
Shit.
Like, the flat earth, I'm still pissed off about that. You know what?
He's addressed those flat earth comments, bro.
I'm going to go to Colombia for like 20 days, just because I need those days
Now
off.
is not a good time to go to Colombia.
Exactly, no.
Hey, shout out Colombia, though.
Yeah, for real.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah. Good with the empanadas, and it's
what the fuck?
I don't know. Good trip, why not? Either way, 20 games out, so it's something going on with them. So pretty much what you said about the.
I think it would be historical if the Nets were to even reach the finals with the lack of time that those 3 stars have had together on court. Bruce Sarr brought it up. And this is like a week or 2 weeks ago, but like it is very low. It is very, very low, the amount of minutes these 3 have spent together on the floor at the same time. So we don't even know if there's gonna be a lack of chemistry or if there's gonna be good chemistry, because it's literally the unknown right now.
Look, kind of unknown. Because the good thing about this is, you were bringing it up. These guys, they're like, the reason why they fuck with each other is because these guys are quote unquote weird guys.
Oh yeah, I said it when Harden came. Like, I thought their chemistry was gonna work out because they get each other as people.
Kyrie and KD, before they decided to join, they obviously had this conversation that how they're gonna be able to play.
Yeah, during the All-Star game.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised, man. James Harden and KD, they played when the Thunder made the finals, so they have that experience as well. So it can definitely.
All of that could show up, and then guess what? If it shows up, that's when people are gonna bring up those things and be like, "Oh yeah, this is why they're working out because of this, this, and this." And it kind of like a great example, quick, would be Luka Doncic. Before Luka got drafted, or before he proved himself in the NBA, people are like, okay, the positive of him playing in Europe is that he's played grown men. That's why his game will translate well in the NBA. But then the negative people were saying is, oh, he played in a different league. He didn't play in college USA basketball. It might not translate into the NBA. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Like these reasons for pointing out might have a positive or might end up negative, and only time will tell. Yeah, but to me, it's just so unknown that's why I think there's a good chance of the implosion. And then I'll tie this in with the inexperience of Nash. Say that it's not working out as well as they hope for. I think
the first player that's out, if it's not working out, is the head coach.
Well, not just that, but like, I feel like once the Nets start facing any type of real pressure from the opposing team, like say they're down by 2 games or maybe even just 1 game,
or they're in a tight series,
tempers might flare. People might say shit. We saw it kind of with KD and Draymond during the Warriors era. I don't know how shit may go down, and will Nash be able to handle either of those 3 having a moment, you know what I mean, an intense moment that might fuck up the whole team, and then that's where the implosion, kind of the dominoes start falling, and then it's just. And Nash, I think it was on First Things First, they brought it up. If you listen to the mic'd comments, that mic'd by being like all the comments that get mic'd up when he's mic'd up for like TV and shit, a lot of the comments that he makes towards those players are very basic, very generic. And I think they compare it to like a high school coach. Well, he doesn't focus on the X and O's. He doesn't focus on the dynamics of the players. He's just kind of saying generic shit that, you can kind of just say to everybody. Like, yeah, play with effort or da-da-da-da.
Or like, okay, that like, when you're playing 2K on My Career, like, the generic 2K coach, that's what Steve Nash is.
Oh yeah, all those comments.
It's like, yo, you're in My Player career, you're like on a 20-game winning streak, and be like, guys, we have not been playing well, so we're gonna run these drills.
Exactly.
Some bullshit like that.
And then I'm kind of worried to see how that works out, because keep in mind, guys, something that has not been brought up a lot when it comes to the Nets potential flaws is Nash's inexperience as a coach. This is still his first year as a head coach, as a coach period, and yes, he has NBA experience. So I do think as a first year head coach, kind of like Steve Kerr when he first coached the Warriors, he does have some intangibles and experience that nobody else can claim. But at the same time, you're not a coach a well-versed coach.
Now the funny thing is, while Nets the Steve Nash he lacks experience, the coach for the next team that we're gonna talk about in this thing has experience, but it's not the good experience. It's like your boy, D'Antoni. He's failed to get them over the hump.
Yes, and let's look at.
I'm surprised his ass hasn't been fired.
The biggest reason why I have a strong belief in the Bucks implosion is the fact that they kind of proven in the past 2 years, but even if you go as far back the past 5 years, which is basically since Giannis been there, did not qualify, lost in the first round in 17 and 18, lost in the conference final in 19, and then didn't even make the conference finals last year, but lost in the conference semifinals when the Heat showed out the flaws that the Bucks had, which this year, the regular season, they have shown to adapt. And it's more importantly, Giannis has adapted his game with more post game, more mid range. And he shoots the ball with more confidence, or at least he tries to.
That and credit.
But will it translate to the playoffs?
And that and credit to the front office that they at least made an effort to address this by pulling the trigger to get Drew Holiday. They got a seasoned veteran in PJ Tucker that has, some experience in the playoff battles back in Houston, where it's going against Golden State, where they were that juggernaut. So I think that might be able to help on a personnel basis for the Bucks to maybe get over the hump.
Yeah, but my biggest concern is kind of like with the Nets, it's the stars. With the Bucks, it's the star because they only have legit one star, and that's Giannis. And I'm a little worried. This playoffs will solidify, is Giannis a true champion or not, just by spirit, just in the spirit, just by mentality, not like if he's gonna win it all, but just if he has a championship mindset.
I think he is, because he stayed despite all the adversity that he's going.
That's not enough for me. Now I gotta see it.
Oh, excuse me.
He's adapted his game in the regular season. I want to see if he can keep that play during the postseason. Can he might just become a shell of himself and then go back to his old habits, because old habits die hard, and just return to that bullshit and then play like that during the regular season, and then that fucks him up. Now if he can keep doing what he did this regular season and show up with at least taking the shots if he gets them, at least risking it, don't pull a Ben Simmons, and at least playing more in the post and in the mid, okay, then I'll be like, okay, Giannis is showing that he's not scared, but I think the fear might eat him up, and then that will in turn result in the implosion of the Bucks this postseason.
Look, unlike the Nets with the inexperience, I was saying this before, the Bucks, they have a lot of bad experiences, trying to get rid of these bad experiences they've had. Time and time again, they got in close, like has been in the conference finals, but no cigar. Last year, they got their asses owned and handed by the Miami Heat, in the second round, and exposed their flaws big time.
Actually, I'm gonna just say it right now. I believe the Bucks have a higher chance of imploding than the Nets, because basically what you just said, you don't get rid of that monster that's been on your back until you get rid of it. So they haven't gotten rid of it.
And unfortunately, that monster has been getting bigger and bigger and
that's
bigger.
True.
You kill that monster while it's small.
So I think that's, at least with the Nets, this is the first year they're together. The first year all happened. So it's like, okay, they have a lot of pressure, but at least that type of pressure isn't on them. Now the Bucks have that type of pressure, and more importantly, Giannis has this immense pressure that similar to what LeBron had before he actually ended up just booking it to Miami.
More on Giannis, yes. On the Bucks, maybe not so much. You know why? Because he already signed that extension, so he's not going to leave.
I just meant the Bucks as an organization to win.
Yeah, of course. But either way, man, guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Who has a higher chance of imploding, Nets or Bucks?
My opinion, actually, I didn't say my thing.
Or Sixers, if you want to throw them in there. Right now, let's just focus on Eastern Conference, by the way, guys. We'll do a West one. If you guys want, drop a comment on the two West teams we should focus on for higher chance of implosion, in our opinion.
Before we actually finish the video, my thinking is I think it's going to be the Nets, because injuries. They face a real team.
I'm a little worried for KD, I ain't going to lie.
We'll see what happens, man. I think it's going to be the Nets. We'll obviously talk about it a little bit more, but let us know in the comments what you guys think. Who's going to implode more? The Nets, the Bucks, maybe somebody else? Is somebody else going to be able to pop up from the East and do an upset? Who knows? Nobody was expecting the Heat last year. But either way, guys, appreciate all the love and the hate. You guys already know. Catch us on Twitter, TikTok, Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. Catch you guys soon. For now,
Take
later.
care.